So that was the home theater. Out here in the office, which is the room that is behind the home theater, we have all of the equipment. And for many years now, I've had my home theater equipment in the room on the other side of a wall. It was in a spare bedroom in the house that we last owned, and now it's in my specially designed office. Here we have a bunch of movies, we have DVDs, we have regular Blu-ray, we have brand new 4K Blu-rays down here. We have my Xbox games, Xbox 360, Xbox One games, enhanced for Xbox Series S, Series X. I used to have my audio discs in here, my CDs, but I started getting so many movies and so many games that and since I wasn't playing my audio discs, I packed them up and I have them in storage outside in the hall. Over here we have our security system in the house. There's 8 cameras, 10 cameras around the property, and this is the DVR that ties them all together. I keep getting a monitor from somewhere in the house to put up here so that I can keep track of what's being done, and then somebody keeps taking the monitor away. So over here is the office where I do all of my Xbox work. You can see a couple of my awards from the Xbox team. There's another Ship It award that's down here at the edge of the desk. That's for shipping multiple products. You can see that I was on the team that shipped the X and the S, which is the bottom sticker tag that's on that trophy. Yes, I do have 2 4K monitors, or actually 4K TVs, a lovely Sony 4K TV that's about 6 years old now, and a brand new Samsung 4K TV, and these are my monitors, and it's really nice having 4K monitors of this size, especially as you get on in years. Over here are the 2 computers. I've got a Mac Mini, which has all of Microsoft security software on board, so that's how I access my company resources with all of the passwords and virus protection. And then my personal work machine, which is the brand new Mac Studio, which is a very lovely machine. They're always very lovely machines. I would show you my old Mac Pro, which was down here on the floor, but somebody stole it. So if you guys know where that is, please comment down below and let me know what's going on. So over here, the last point of the office is the rack. Everything is in one equipment rack, and that's mainly because I don't have a lot of stuff that I need to put in here. It's got 2 sections. The top section is the patch bay, and the bottom section is all of the AV equipment that powers the theater, which is behind this wall. So at the top, we have the RJ45 patch bays that run into this 24-port router, which I believe has 12 channels of PoE. The PoE runs to all of the Ubiquiti access points, of which there are 7 around the house. So we don't connect everything in here because a lot of the connections are redundant. For example, all of the TVs that are on the walls in all of the rooms have a pair of Ethernet ports that run to them just in case one is bad. So in some cases we connect, port 1 into the router and we leave port 2 disconnected because port 1 works. If port 1 didn't work, obviously we'd connect port 2. So that's why we only need 24 ports when we've actually got, 40 different connections throughout the house. Below that, we have the connections for the DirecTV. We have a satellite that is on the south side of the house, pointing up at the geostationary satellites. We have a Genie over here. We have a multiplexer in the back. And then we have, again, multiple cables in here for redundancy that runs to each of the rooms behind the TVs, sometimes where we put the little 4K boxes. We have 2 cables, whichever one works is the one that we actually patch into the multiplexer. Also down in here we have our DOCSIS modem. We have our DirecTV Genie 2. There's a separate standalone gigabit switch that powers the whole rack outside of the big switch up here. We have the Xbox Series X console that I use for most of my testing, and then the rest of the audio gear. So the audio gear here is very, very simple because, as I said initially, I don't have a lot of stuff to put in it. Most of my audio is ripped and living on my Macintoshes, but connecting the Xbox to the system is a Marantz AV8805 Pre-Pro. It was just upgraded with the FRL capable 4K 120 board in there. So I will be testing that once I get a 4K projector that runs at 120 Hertz. This is what I might describe as last year's model. It's completely awesome. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I'm watching movies in the theater, I will get out of myself and say, doesn't that look good? Isn't that amazing? And it actually is. And having somebody come in and calibrate it, for $300 or $400 or $500 is just totally worth it. They're good out of the box. They're great once they're calibrated. So this is the 4K model from, let's say, last year. The current year's model in the same class will do 4K 120, so it runs at 120 frames per second. That's driven again by the Marantz, so the Xbox drives in the Marantz and then it goes up to the projector. And then also we have 2 channels in each of these amplifiers. So there's 4 channels down here, which will drive 500 watts per channel. We have more amplifiers up here, 250 watts per channel for all of the small speakers in the room. There's 12 total here. So we have a total of 16 channels of amplification here. You may notice that I have placed my Samsung 4K Blu-ray player here, and I got this mainly to do comparisons between the 4K player inside the Series X in case there were issues that customers were seeing, because part of my job is to do debugging. And so it's nice to have another device which has the same functions to see if it has the same problems, if it's an issue with the source material or something else weird was going on. It's not currently connected because I just recouped this from somewhere else in the house. Somebody with sticky fingers came in and liberated it not too long ago, and I have since recovered it. Now, outside of this room is full of junk. You see a bunch of my old Raids, which are going to be sold now that I've replaced it with a Promise Pegasus 32. There's also a brand new 10 gigabit switch, which I mainly use between my 2 computers if I'm doing screen sharing. We're going to install another 10 gigabit switch in the house. So the PC, which does the video rendering for the YouTube videos, is going to be connected to a NAS, which also is running a RAID 6 inside, and will also have a 10 gigabit NIC inside. So you'll be able to go 10 gig back and forth between the PC and the NAS. So that will be as fast as possible, probably only limited by the speed of the motherboard in the NAS and the hard drives that are inside. And yes, they are hard drives, but there's 4 10 terabyte drives, 40 terabytes worth of storage in there in the RAID 6.
No, I can use 50 terabytes. It says 45.
Well, then it's running at a RAID 5. I guess that's good enough. So then the last thing here in the office, you see over here on the wall, there's a power supply with the loudest fan in the room and a controller, and that's what controls the LEDs in the marquee lighting that's underneath the pedestal in the home theater. And that's what I will communicate with to make, the soft blue lighting when we're watching a movie or other things. But again, that's something that we have yet to do. And that's the end of the tour. Thank you very much. Welcome to the cut.
That's going at the end.
Cut.
That's going to go at the end of it.
Cut.
Outtakes.
No outtakes. Because there's no bad words. If there were bad words, there would be outtakes.
No.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
which we pretty much never do.
I'm editing that out. I'm putting that in the end.
Is all the lights go off. Cut.
Oh, I started a little bit before.
So that's what they do with regular film movies, and then they say speed when both the tape, the audio equipment, and the film is at the correct speed it should, because it's got a startup time.
Yeah, my videos have a startup time.
You ready?
Yeah.
Away. Move. Over here is the office where I do my work. As you can see, I've got some Xbox awards up here. There's another Xbox award for shipping products over here on the desk. Yes, there's 2 4K TVs that I use for working. There's my brand new Apple Studio and my Mac Mini, M1 Mac Mini. Just got those units. And I'm very happy.
Cut. I'm noticing a problem with the microphone.
Okay. Is it? Testing, 1, 3. How about that? Is that better?
Oh, that works now. Okay.
Okay, so I pushed that in. So I'll keep it held together. Maybe it's full.
No, it's not full. You're silly. Okay.
And then over here we have the rack. Up here at the top are the 2 patch bays. The top is all of the networking. You can see some of those cables are networking that come into here. I have a 24 port switch here, which with I think 12 ports of PoE. The PoE goes to all of the ubiquity access points in the house. There's 7 around the property, so we get pretty good coverage, especially if you're standing right underneath them.
Okay, we have to start that over. That shot was super blurry, and I don't know why. And it lasted for like 5 seconds. I can't have that. You were like talking the entire time.
Okay.
Start with the 20 gigabytes, 20 port switch.
24 port switch.
Yeah. So stand.
Well, I'm going to, so you walk there, and I'm going to walk over. So that'll be that cut. Ready?
Ready.
So what we have here is the rack. It starts with the networking at the top, the DirecTV cable in the center, and then it's filled with the audio video equipment for the theater. The top, you can see all of the networking cables and all of the DirecTV cables that come in.
There's still something wrong with the mic. It's like buzzing.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Maybe there.
Oh God, really?
I don't know how that came out. It's not like I pulled it.
Oh.
All right, now we got to do this again.
So many outtakes.
It's a good thing I know my shit.
I have to use. Hang on. Is that done?
No.
Okay. Oh, you're.
That was a cut.
Okay.
Right. Drives 40 terabytes worth of storage in there in the RAID 6.
No. I can use 50 terabytes. It says 45.
Well, then it's running at a RAID 5. I guess that's good enough.
I'm leaving that.
That's going to be edited out.
No.
Well, because again, you don't want me to look.
Sometimes smart guy looking stupid is the best thing ever.